Teach us to use wisely all the time that we have. Psalm 90:12. Hi Queens! Welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time stopping by, thank you so much. My name is Temi Moses, and today I'm going to be giving you guys 5 practical steps into achieving any goal or any benchmark that you want to achieve. These steps have been proven to help people that I mentor. It's proven to help even me. I've been able to use these steps to achieving a lot of my goals even quicker than I expected and quicker than other people as well. So I know it works. So the first step, and guys, please excuse my voice. I just got over a cold, so I'm recovering, okay? So step 1, you have to mentally prepare yourself for whatever goals, whatever achievements that you would like to reach. You need to believe that it is possible for you to achieve it. You need to believe that the goal is achievable and you have the capabilities to achieve them. Like, there's no point of even starting or working towards a goal if you don't believe that it is possible for you to reach it. No matter what, if you're taking steps towards that goal and then you get to a certain point, your head is telling you that it's not possible, you can't do it, and you don't believe that you can do it, then what's the point? You're just going to end up failing. So step 1, mentally prepare yourself. Believe that you can do it. Know that it is possible. Sometimes you even have to look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, I can do this. I can lose that weight. I can make that money. I can graduate school. Whatever that goal is, you have to believe it 100% within yourself that it is very possible. Because when you're trying to achieve something, a lot of the times there are obstacles, there are things along the way that will kind of frustrate you, and you may sometimes get discouraged, but you have to know within yourself that I can and I will and it is possible. And having that kind of like mentality and mindset will help you to push through whatever it is and help you accomplish those goals. So one thing that I also do when I'm reaching towards like trying to reach a goal, I'll either create more of like a goal board, not necessarily a vision board. I have like a general vision board, but I'll have like a goal board where I'll have positive affirmations that to tell myself I can do that certain goal. So I'll keep it like by my mirror, and I'll tell myself that every morning or whenever I have time. And also sometimes I'll go on Pinterest. I'll have like a board for that specific goal and pin things inside that board to remind myself that this is where I'm going. So number 2, write down your goals. And I tell my mentees this all the time. Write down your goals, okay? And be as specific as possible. For the beginning of the year, I like to plan my year ahead of time, and I'll write my goals down in quarters, and I am very specific. I have how much money I need to make, things that I need to do, how many more sources of income that I have to add. I go deep. Like, you have to be very specific and very detailed. Honestly, that is so important. I can't stress the importance of writing down your goals. And don't just write them down. Periodically go back and review them and evaluate yourself. Even before the end of that time that you have, the deadline that you have, like, you gotta ask yourself, am I working towards that? What am I achieving? So you have to be very specific. And when you write your goals, be realistic, but at the same time, I always encourage people, dream big. Be realistic, but dream big, okay? I'm not telling you to ask for, the whole world and, you barely know your name. I don't know. But I'm asking, dream big, have a big vision for your life, have a big place that you want to go to. But at the same time, be realistic and set practical ways into getting them. Let me just give, a little example. let's say this is hypothetical, but let's say your goal is to lose 40 pounds by the end of the year. Practical steps to working towards that goal is, let's say, okay, by the first quarter of the year, I want to lose 10 pounds. Then second quarter, 20 pounds, and fourth, 40 pounds. So at the end, you've achieved that 40-pound goal. So I set little goals in order to meet that big overall goal. And lastly, very important for you to write down your goals, because it gives you a way to evaluate yourself. It's not like you get to the end of the year and you're like, oh my gosh, what did I achieve? Like, you'll have a certain way of measuring how much you've reached something. Does that make sense? Number 3 is to plan. If you see me looking down, I wrote my notes over here, so I'm looking at it. So number 3, so it's to 1, plan, and then 2, set deadlines. Not just having a goal, but you have to plan towards that goal. What are you going to do on a daily basis to get that goal? One thing that I do, I'm going to give you guys some of the things that I personally do. I have an overall plan of like my day. If you're not single, you're married, and you have kids, this also helps them. So this is a general advice, and you can tweak it in the way that best suits your lifestyle. So one thing that I do, I use a Google Calendar and I color code it. Let me see if I can find one for you guys. So that's my Google Calendar, and it has a general schedule of my day, right? So I know that I have to work from 9 to 5. I have a certain goal fitness-wise that I want to reach, and that requires me going to the gym early and going to the gym after work. So I know that I have to wake up earlier, to go to the gym. And also in my Google Calendar, God is super important to me, so I make time to spend with God. So that's on my calendar. On my calendar, I first started out by adding the stuff that are static, that don't really change much. And then I have a business that I run. I have several businesses that I'm adding, and I have to work towards that business. I have to work towards that goal. So I have to go get education. I have to even make time, personal time, to work towards that. I also have career goals that I'm working towards. So with those static things, then I'll create time. With my Google Calendar, I will create a certain time, because to me, even though I work for somebody else, I'm still a full-time entrepreneur. I'm still working for myself. I'm still building a legacy for myself. So for example, I'll make like 30 minutes, during my lunch break, to work on my business. I may be updating my site. I may be getting new knowledge. Then on like another day that I know that I'm not as busy, I'll make like an hour to really get practical knowledge to work on my business. Then after work, I'll go to the gym. Then after the gym, I have the time that I work out from 5 to 6. And then from like 6:30 to 7:30, I may be using that to learn a skill. And I'm also in school, so I'll also put time from like 7:30 to 8:30 to read or to do homework or to do something. So I make sure to create time for certain goals that I have. If I want to be a millionaire, I'm going to create time to learn things to be a millionaire. One thing that I really want to get good at is my finances this year. And I mean, I'm proud of how far I've come, but there's still so much to go. So I make time to make sure that I get great at my finances, and I make time to read, to do everything that I want to do, because a lot of these people, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, they don't have two heads. They have the same 24 hours that I do. So I make time for anything that I want to do. I make sure I make time for it. And then also having a general calendar, I have a daily to-do list of my goals. So one thing that I do is I'll just go to my notes that I have on my phone, and I'll create a to-do list of like the things that I need to do today. So within those micro goals, you also have micro goals, like the daily goals. So I write down things that I need to get done that day. And that really helps me to, one, make sure that I'm always working towards my goal, that I'm always striving and doing something to work towards that goal. Two, it helps me to be on task, so that if there's something that I need to do that day, I do it. I don't have a problem with procrastinating overall because I write down the things that I have to do. Set deadlines for yourself. Whenever you have a goal, it's very important to have a time that you want to achieve it. So, for example, my mentee, she was telling me that she wanted to go back to school. She's been so busy, she hasn't had time. I gave her these steps and I asked her, what is the deadline that you to send the application? And she told me, I said, you have your own deadline. Make that deadline a month in advance of that actual deadline, like of the main deadline. So you have your own deadline. Don't be waiting until last minute to submit things. Like, don't do that. Then you're going to be rushing and it's not going to be quality. Have your own deadline for anything that you want to do, that you're going to achieve this by a certain time. When I don't give myself deadlines, I take time to do stuff. Have a deadline and set the deadline and be serious. Let that deadline be like it's a real deadline. And you know what? She took that, and rather than starting school a few months after, she did the app. Like she was on her stuff. She did it, and bing, bada, boom. Within 2 weeks, she told me she's going back to school this semester. I said, girl, I was so proud of her. Also, plan financially. If your goal is to start a business, where's the money going to come from? Like, you have to have financial plans for yourself. You have to budget. How much do I need to put down to say towards this goal, towards getting this business? So you have to plan financially as well and set priorities. What is more important to you? Is you going to the club every single weekend more important than you taking that time that you have, that you know is like one of the only free times that you have to work towards your goal? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but you have to know that you have to set priorities. What is more important to you? It's not every phone call that you have to pick. I don't pick up every anyways, if you call me, you know me. When I'm working towards something, I'm focused. Don't interrupt me, okay? Because my success is one of the things that come first. My success is important to God, so I have a responsibility of making sure that my success is important to myself as well, so that I'm doing whatever I need to do to pursue what it is that I need to do. And I believe that God's going to bless me and help me out, but I also have a responsibility to play. So you have to prioritize. You don't have to be doing everything at once. Just because somebody wants you does not mean that they need you at a certain place at a certain time. Honestly, sometimes when you're working towards something, whatever goal it is, sometimes you gotta be on your own. You gotta be secluded. People don't have to see you. People know. If my friends know, sometimes there's certain periods of my life that you don't really see me. Because I'm working, I'm busy, I have things that I need to do. Once I've reached that, okay, that's fine. You guys can see me. I mean, I still make time to be with my friends. I'm not saying don't make time for friends, because that's important too. But sometimes I know that there's certain things that are necessary, certain functions that I don't always have to be at, and I could be working towards reaching a goal. And honestly, I could be sleeping because my health is also important to me. I don't like not getting sleep. So yeah. Step number 4, stop procrastinating. Procrastination is the death of so many visions, so many goals. Let me tell you, you are meant to achieve a lot, okay? Your goals, for the most part, I don't know what your goals are, but I'm going to assume for the most part, they are possible, okay? It is possible, but procrastination can be your biggest enemy. Stop saying, I'm going to do this tomorrow. I'm going to do this. Okay? You're never going to get to tomorrow, because tomorrow is always tomorrow. Does that make sense? Once you're in tomorrow's today, you're like, I'm going to do it tomorrow. No, okay? That's why I told you these other steps. Set deadlines, have goals, write down daily. Okay, I'm going to do this. Okay, let me tell you one trick that I use so that I don't procrastinate. I'll write down my goals. And if that goal is something I keep moving, every time I keep moving it stares at me. And even when I'm doing something random, I'm like, crap, I got to do this. So one thing that I do is, if I don't feel like, if the goal is not like like a big priority, or the task is not a big priority, but I know I need to do it, I'll just go do parts of it. Okay. For example, I had an essay that I needed to write. This was this was something that I didn't have to do, but I wanted to because it was a scholarship essay. I kept pushing it, and I knew the deadline was a while, but I kept kind of pushing it, and I was just like, you know what? No. I need to achieve this I have to send this in by this Friday. So one of the things that I did was let me go and just do something. Let me write out a paragraph, right? So I started typing, I started writing down a paragraph. And then sometimes you can just write down that paragraph and then have set another day or another time to come back and finish it. But one thing that I noticed is when I just say, okay, let me just do a little bit, it's hard for me to stop. Like, I'll probably just go ahead and do the whole thing, because once I get started, I'll be like, what if I forget to come back, or what if I lose my train of thought? Like, I'll just start and then I end up finishing. So just start. Just start. But if you're the type of person that you start and don't finish, you better start and you better finish. The final step is to take action. What's the point of doing all of this and not taking action? Everything sounds great. It sounds very practical. You're like, yes, I can do this. But what's the point of it if you're not going to take action? It's not just about writing goals. It's not about just having a Google Calendar. You have to do something. You have to be taking actions. You have to be constantly working towards those goals. Also, within the step is to be consistent. You have to work towards these goals and be consistent, okay? Consistency is the key of achieving. Consistency is the key to achieve a lot of goals, okay? Be consistent. And one of the things that I started doing to really help my consistency, because sometimes when you're working towards something, after a while you're like, I don't see results, it doesn't work, then you don't do it. I'm gonna give you guys an example. One of my goals recently was to really be as fit and active in the gym as I used to be. I used to go hard. Everybody knew that I was always in the gym working out. And then college happened, and yeah. So after college, I was like, I'm gonna be in the gym. And for some reason, I kind of struggled with my consistency. One of the things that I just started implementing. They say it takes 30 days to form a habit. I don't know the exact days, so don't quote me. But so one of the things that I do is I give myself 90 days. Even if I don't see it working within the first 2 weeks, within the first 3 weeks, I have 3 months to consistently do something, and then I can make up my mind whether or not it works. So I gave myself 3 months to consistently be in the gym. Whether or not I want to be there, whether or not I feel like going that day, I have 3 months to be in the gym for a certain amount of times a week. And that's really helped, and it's formed a habit. So now I'm always there. You don't have to tell me twice, I'll go. So working out is no longer a problem for me. This is just what I've been doing for anything that I want to do. If it's something new and if it's something that I'm not used to, and it's like, within a few weeks, I'm like, I don't really see the results. I'm like, don't quit, don't give up. I give myself 3 months or 90 days to consistently do something. And I'm pretty sure within those 3 months, usually you'll see a result. So this is kind of like a bonus. Step number bonus. Put your plans and your goals and everything to the Lord's hands, okay? The Bible says man plans, but the purpose of God prevails, okay? You don't want to be making plans and having goals that are outside of the will of God for your life. And I feel like when you make plans and you give them to God, God will help you and enable you to achieve them. Every time I have plans, I ask God, what's the next direction? What's the next step for me to do? And I commit my plans to God, and I ask God to give me the grace in order to achieve them. And God's really been faithful, and that's definitely something I've seen in my life. God has helped me to be able to achieve so much at such a young age. And like, if it takes people normally 2 years to do, because of God's grace in my life, I can get done within a year or even less. So I don't know. I just know within myself that it works. It works. But this is up to you. I don't know what you believe. But what I believe is when you commit your ways to the Lord. The Bible even says in Proverbs 16:3 that commit your ways to the Lord and He will establish your plans. I really believe that God wants you to commit your plans, your ways to Him, because He knows your beginning and He knows your end. He knows the past. He knows the future. And He knows whatever current mindset and mentality and even your state of mind at that moment. And I know that God can help you to get to those goals. Also, it's okay that sometimes that things don't happen in the time that you plan, because let's face it, life happens, and sometimes you're not meant to achieve that thing at that time that you think that you are supposed to achieve it. But it's a-okay. Don't be hard on yourself. Don't knock yourself down. Still celebrate those little wins, and that should not hinder you from going towards that goal. So, yeah. Still plan. Still make deadlines. Still write down your goals. Still get organized mentally. Still don't procrastinate. Still commit your ways to the Lord. But be okay with sometimes not achieving things at the time that you think you will. You will achieve it, but just don't give up and don't get discouraged. That's very important. Do not get discouraged, okay? Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what other videos that you guys want to see and that you guys want me to make. And thank you guys so much. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Tell me what's this artistry. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.